Hello, this is your video on how to do a personal reading journal. Some of you have already written this down in your language notebook last week. So this is really a reminder, if you've already done this, on how to do it. And if you haven't done this because you weren't in class last week, you should definitely write this in your language notebook and make sure you know how to do a personal reading journal. Every day after math, while I'm gone, I'm going to get you to read a book. Any book you want, as long as it's a story, a fictional story. It has to have characters, and it has to have a beginning, a middle, and an end. It can be a graphic novel. It can be pretty much anything from the classroom library except for the nonfiction books that are just facts. Those you can't read and turn into a personal reading journal. So if you are trying to pick one of those, Guinness Book of World Records or strange but true facts, not going to work. You need to find a novel or a graphic novel, but it has to have characters and it has to have a beginning, a middle, and an end. Story, events that happen. All right, so I picked Goosebumps. And I read the first chapter. It was only 4 pages, but I was still able to get enough information from reading those 4 pages to be able to do a personal reading journal. You are going to be reading for 20 minutes every day. That is definitely enough time to get enough information from your story to be able to make one of these personal reading journals. Every personal reading journal will start with a title, and of course the date in your language notebook. You then need to write the title of the book. Now for Goosebumps, the title is not Goosebumps because there are many of these, and so writing Goosebumps doesn't tell me which one you read. The title is actually Be Careful What You Wish For. So that's what I write for the title, and I underline it because that is a grammatical convention that you need to make sure that you're using. Every time you write or type the name of a book, it has to be underlined. Then you write the author. So in this case, it was R.L. Stine who wrote Be Careful What You Wish For. Like I say, I read the first chapter. It was only 4 pages, but I was able to get a lot of information. So I start my personal reading journal telling about the main character. The main character is Samantha Bird. She is in grade 7. She is very tall. She gets bullied by a girl named Judith. That is 1, 2, 3, 4 sentences about the main character. You should definitely be able to give a lot of details about the main character in the book that you're reading. You should try to explain what you know about them. Then I move on to the events that happened in the story. In this case, Judith, the one who's bullying Samantha, tripped Samantha in math class, and everyone laughed at her. That was terrible. Samantha did not like that. Samantha was very angry. So those are some of the important events that happened in the part that I read. I do not expect you to know everything that happens in your book while you're reading it, but I do expect you to try to keep track. So, I have explained who the character is, I've told what happened in the part that I read, and now I'm going to make a prediction about what happens next. In this case, I think that Samantha is going to wish for something bad to happen to Judith. Now, obviously, I am influenced by what happened already and what kind of book I've chosen. I'm reading a Goosebumps book. Usually these books have to do with supernatural events, something creepy or scary, and the title is Be Careful What You Wish For. So it makes sense that my prediction is that Samantha is going to wish for something bad to happen to Judith out of revenge, since Judith is the one that is bullying her. Now, I don't know what's going to happen, But this is what's called an educated guess. Based on the things that I know so far, this is what I think is going to happen next. When you do your own prediction, I expect you to put enough thought into it that it makes sense. Last year, a number of students would write anything for their prediction. Like, every single time they did this, their prediction was the same thing. I think that everyone's going to die. Well, that's not acceptable, and it's not going to get you any marks. So, I expect you to do a prediction based on what's happened so far that makes sense. So this is what your personal reading journal is going to be like, and these are some reminders about how to do it. I want you to give details about the main character as you learn more about them. I want you to explain what happened in the part that you read that day. What events happened in the story. And then I want you to give a prediction, but like I said, based on what you know. Don't just make something up randomly. Please put some thought into this, because that's how I'm going to be marking this. So, like I say, every day after math, I expect you to read for 20 minutes, and then I expect you to write a personal reading journal in your language notebook about the part that you read that day.